Yeah, unfortunately, I got to speed through this one. But the rules all still apply. Please focus on one individual value at a time. And if that means that you got to get rid of this parentheses first, then do it, okay? In fact, I would kind of assume that most students would need to do that right here. So let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to take this negative 2/5 and multiply it by the exponents there. Now this is it's gonna give me the same exact expression here. Okay, but now I've got a base x to the power of 1/3 times negative 2/5. Put that in the calculator, you'll get the new exponent of negative 2/15. And then you got the base y, that's negative 5/4 times negative 2/5, which should simplify into 1/2. So at this point, now I would just focus on each individual number, but I did need to get rid of that parentheses first. Most people need to get rid of the parentheses first. Not everyone does. But now I'm just going to focus. I'll start on the x's, okay? So I will have a fraction, but I've got x to the power of 4/5, and then I've got an x to the power of negative 2/15. And that's just the numerator part, and then I've got in the denominator x to the power of negative 1/3. Now, these are all base x's, right? So I can just work with my x's. In the numerator, I've got a 4/5 and also a negative 2/15. So these ones, since those bases were being multiplied, we add those two exponents. But the other one, the negative 1/3 there in the denominator, that was being divided, so those have to be subtracted. Why am I doing that? It's because what I would really like to do, in any case, I now have my base x, which is what I want. But all of this stuff right here, I'm just going to type in the calculator, you guys. Yeah, you can find your own common denominators and work from there, but I like the calculator method. So 4/5 plus negative 2 over, now 15, of course, minus negative, whoa, I got to get out of that fraction. Almost typed it in wrong. Minus negative fraction 1/3. Enter. Oh my gosh. It says it's 1. So all of that we just did gives me x to the power of 1. This is the way that I did it. Yeah, some students would be like this negative 1/3, I would move up to the top, or even the negative 2/5, I'd move that to the bottom. It's up to you, okay? Because moving this to the bottom would just be 4/5 minus the 2/15. And then moving this x to the negative 1/3 to the top would have been a plus, which minus the negative is. Of course, I typed it in the calculator exactly like this, and it just said you got x to the power of 1. Boom, there's my base x. But then I will work with my y's, which I got some on the top and the bottom. So again, let's work on this one. So in the top, I've got y to the power of negative 3/4, and also y to the power of 1/2. That wasn't green before. And then the denominator, we got y to the power of 8/5. So this, all base y's, but now we got the exponents of negative 3/4. We got 1/2, and we got 8/5. So again, what are we going to do with those? Well, the two y's in the numerators were being multiplied, so we're going to add the negative 3/4 and the 1/2, and then since it's dividing by the y to the power of 8/5, we're going to subtract the 8/5. So you're welcome to do this by hand if you'd like, because it is very fun. I'm not going to, because I like my calculator method. So in the calculator, negative 3/4 plus 1/2 minus 8/5, enter. Oh, this one's pretty ugly. I got negative 37/20. Yeesh. I don't want the negative. We don't want any negative exponents in the answer, so you'll probably benefit from making this a fraction. The reason that is because by flipping the fraction, the exponent becomes positive. So now it's a 1 over 37/20. So over here, I don't really need the 1 in the numerator, so I can just put in my y to the power of 37/20 in the denominator there. And that's it. I'm going to keep the x to the power of 1. I don't know why. I just am. Now, if you had written this as x to the power of 1 times y to the power of negative 37/20, it won't accept it. On the assignment, it only wants positive exponents, and then you'd have to remember to flip that, put that, just the y base into the denominator.